When I was a child, my heroes, the Lone Ranger and Superman, had very clear values about right and wrong. I didn't see grown-ups behaving badly when I was a young child, and I didn't see it on television. I learned how to work at an early age, and I was taught the importance of responsibility. I think little kids need to be taught those kind of values.
We need to preserve our farming culture, and we need to preserve the people who farm and ranch and produce for us. Not just because we need what they produce, but because of the value system that they support, that they represent, that they embody.
Yeah, we're going on our 5th generation of family farmers in this area.
Responsibility to me is trying to learn what my dad, my uncles, my grandparents have learned along the way, taking in generations of knowledge, because all this didn't happen overnight. It's taken years to establish this farm.
We pack about 2 to 3 million cantaloupes a year.
I think responsibility is being a great steward of the land, taking care of it for your future generations.
I grew up in an urban environment and never in a million years thought I would be involved in agriculture. I met and married a 5th generation cattle rancher. Every day is so different on the ranch, which I love, but it's things that I had never done before. I feel like I've gone back in time where people trusted each other. From my previous life, that was always maybe in question, and I love that about agricultural communities. There's a big responsibility, I think, on our shoulders to not lose this place on our watch. Generations of family members have poured blood, sweat, and tears into this place for our benefit. We want to leave this place better for the next generation.
It's pretty nerve-wracking to watch last night the storm clouds come out of nowhere and it starts raining and the first thing you think is my livelihood depends on the next 15 minutes.
It's really terrifying to not know, what's gonna happen tomorrow? Is it gonna hail? Is it gonna flood? We don't ever know, and it's a gamble.
There are a substantial number of farmers who work a second job so that they can keep the farm.
If I was just to rely on the farm and the farm income, then it'd be really risky.
One of the things that I think is the most sad about today is that farmers feed the world, but they don't feed themselves. And that's what I want to change.
It's been a challenge. I'm not gonna lie to you, farming is tough. It's not growing in the grocery store. I mean, it takes a lot of hard work and time and risk involved to get anything on your plate.
Don't you like the color of red?
A third of the food in this country is wasted. When you think about all of the time, all of the effort, all of the money, all of the water that is essentially not utilized to its fullest extent, you kind of feel a responsibility to maybe reduce that level of waste. Have portion sizes that make sense. When you go to a restaurant and you know you're not going to eat that tomato on that cheeseburger they're going to serve you, tell them not to put the tomato on the cheeseburger. So I think there are ways in which we can show respect for our farm families by just making sure that we fully utilize what they've worked so hard to put on our table.
My hero and why would have to be my dad. Sorry. My dad gets up every day and he works really hard, and he never really asks for anything in return.
I was a real problem in school. I got thrown out of 9th grade for fighting. And I went away to a special boarding school for kids with problems, and they immediately put me to work in the horse barn, running the horse barn, where I learned responsibility, I learned how to work.
Responsibility means to me teaching our kids how to work.
Here's some pepper right here, a little guy right there. This was nothing but dead grass and some piles of dirt.
Each class gets to choose what they grow. So here's a class that has chosen to grow pea shoots. That's a class that chose to grow salad greens. And they look after it. They take responsibility for watering it. They take responsibility for caring for it.
It's like, wow, it really did change. And it doesn't even look like it's part of the school, which is actually pretty nice, which proves that we can actually make the school better and we can actually change it, you know?
It's a responsibility to make sure what you're doing is benefiting society. And it comes back to you personally. So if you embrace that responsibility, if you take it on and sink your teeth into it and work on it, you will make the world a better place, and you will feel wonderful because you know you're part of it.